Hi there, folks, and welcome to our latest edition of the ALT Community Call. And I'm delighted to be here today with Joel Mills. Hello, Joel.
Hi, how you doing?
So, Joel, thank you. Let me just kill this window for a second. So, thank you. Too many windows. So, just a quick reminder, folks, that I'll be talking to Joel for the next 40 or so minutes, and if you want to contribute to anything, feel free to use the ALTC hashtag on Twitter, or if you go to the Google Plus events page, you can also do Q&A there. So Joel, for people who aren't familiar with you, which is quite hard to believe given that you're the current Learning Technologist of the Year, can you just give us all a bit of background about yourself?
Yeah, I work as a technology enhanced learning advisor, which is a cross department across the University of Hull. We work in learning and enhancement and academic practice, so we have a remit to work with staff and learners enhancing teaching and learning across the university. I also work with groups of educators called the Immersive Community, headed up by Stephen Reed. And we are a collaboration of Minecrafters, games-based learning people who use games in education all the time. So my work really is generally at the university on assessment and teaching and learning, but I've also started to bring in game-based learning into summative assessment in higher education, which is really quite a new area for HE. So that's been kind of my area of work in the last 6 to 8 months, really.
That's quite interesting. So summative and games, is there any particular angles that you're taking with that?
Well, one project which we were looking at with chemistry was our Molecraft project. Molecraft is a world that was created by the students in Minecraft, and the remit for that was a third-year undergraduate chemistry group. Mark Lorch and I in chemistry here, we looked at this group of students and gave them the opportunity to evidence their knowledge of molecular chemistry using any format that they wanted to, e-portfolio, whether it was blogging. We also gave them the opportunity to use Minecraft as a tool as well, and we introduced that as one of the assessment vehicles. A small group of learners, about 6 learners, chose this as their vehicle, and we then gave them creative freedom to showcase their knowledge of molecular biology of proteins and amino acids using Minecraft. And they had to come up with the concept, they had to do the building, and they had to take a number of molecules from the National Protein Database, put them through various schematic processes and software to turn them into Minecraft objects. And they then built a game around that in Minecraft, which we could then redistribute as a learning object or a Minecraft map for secondary school learners. I got involved as the pedagogic and Minecraft consultant on that, so how to get the games working in Minecraft, the pedagogy of making sure we were achieving the learning outcomes, and Mark was the science guy. Dr. Mark Lorch was the chemist on that one. He advised on the knowledge and made sure that the knowledge that we were assessing was accurate from the project point of view. So we ran this project with them for about 6 months, and they created this world called Molecraft, which is an amazing world. It can be downloaded from the University of Hull website, or if you've got Minecraft EDU, it's there in the World Library. And it also features on education.minecraft.net as one of the resources there. So if you go to resources on that website, you'll find links to it there as well. And we had a tremendous response because this hadn't been done before. And whilst the map itself that's produced is very much a linear type of approach to games-based learning, as in they have tasks that they have to do, they go on quests, they find resources, there's an element of treasure hunting about it. So it's quite linear. There's not much Minecraft building in that map, and so therefore it becomes a little bit of my favourite phrase at the moment: chocolate-covered broccoli, which is it's still broccoli at the end of the day. It's just we've coated it in Minecraft. They're still learning their textbooks. They're just doing it through Minecraft, and so it's not really proper game-based learning in that respect. But the game-based learning approach that we developed, which was the third year's having this summative assessment, which was producing something in Minecraft, has never been done before at the university, and I'm not sure how often it's been done subsequently at university level. That then started off conversations with other departments. So we've now got deserted medieval villages being recreated with our archaeology and history department, and they're having to visualize from their textbooks how to build and recreate what is essentially just earthworks when you go there. And of course, this because Minecraft has the ability to fly in it. The students can actually get an overview of the entire site, something you can't do on the ground unless you've got remote-controlled drones, of course. But that's another learning technology for the future. So it gives us a cost-effective solution to create this space, allow them to see how the various different sites relate to each other from the air, and then they can land on the ground and go and rebuild some of these sites using the knowledge from their textbooks and interpreting the artist's impressions in a Minecraft, and then having those conversations, which is the really important part. That's where the learning takes place. Why did I choose that? Why did we use that method? Was this the right size and scale and proportion? What was that area there? Was it a religious area? Was it a community area? Was it a live area for livestock? And they got it wrong. We have the knowledge as the academics, and they were building stuff, and we were going, that's a split level building. You've built that on one level, but actually your animals would be underneath here to give you heat to rise up, and your living space would be above the animals. Wouldn't that be really smelly though? They said. Well, yeah, it was, but in the Middle Ages that was kind of normal. Everybody was a bit smelly. So we had conversations which led to different levels of learning there, which is quite interesting.
So Minecraft isn't the first virtual world to start being used within an education context.
No.
So a number of years ago, Second Life was the tool that was taking. But do you see where do you see the differences between Minecraft and Second Life, or do you think they're just the same? It's just a new box that we can wrap stuff in and get that level of interest.
I get asked this question quite a lot, and people go, well, Minecraft's going to die and there'll be something else and there'll be something else. And to an extent that is true. Technology is transient, and we know that. We had iPads. We didn't have iPads 6 years ago. We have them now. They're everywhere. There'll be something else in future. It'll be watches and it'll be other technologies. So in that sense, I think that's very much the case. However, Second Life suffered because of the infrastructure of the country at the time. We didn't have ADSL broadband and high speeds. Second Life required quite high processing power and high bandwidth to create stuff. So the learning curve for Second Life to actually create anything was very steep. It was very resource heavy, so not all computers could handle it. And it was very time intensive. So whilst you could get beautiful results, moving your avatar around while his head was rolling around like this all over the place really wasn't very easy. You ended up seeing people spinning in circles, wondering where on earth they're going because they couldn't handle the controls. So Minecraft's beauty is in its simplicity. Low tech, based on Java, still. There is that issue of new Minecraft Education Edition being written in C++, but that's another topic. So it's very low cost. All machines can run Java, Linux, Mac, Windows platforms. It runs on Android, it runs on iOS, and it's very accessible. You left click to destroy, you right click to place. It's easy. The learning curve is very straightforward. I mean, so much so, my 3-year-old can place blocks in Minecraft using a mouse and a keyboard. I move her around, she places the blocks with the buttons and makes colored pictures. It's very straightforward. So once you get over this learning curve, the technology stops being the barrier, and you start thinking about what can I do with this. So very quickly we get into conversations about show me what you want to do. Have we got a colored block like this? Yes, we can do that. Have we got this material? We'll find out. Here's how you find out. So very quickly we get into a position where students are prototyping things and are showing us their ideas. And that then becomes a really powerful tool, because then we can get people to collaborate together and they work together on things. So it becomes a very powerful learning tool at that point.
I've never really considered it, and it's obvious when you say it that in terms of processor power, Second Life, I can remember chugging around at 12 frames a second, and even if I was using the technology I had for Second Life, Minecraft would, I presume, run a lot better just because of the way it renders stuff, using a block.
Yeah, it does, and it's got very good technology in terms of handling the threads of your processor and bits and pieces. And the user has an element of control over that. They can remove their viewing distance and bring their viewing distance down if they're suffering from from lag. And so very quickly it becomes an enjoyable experience. But it's designed as a game. It's not designed as an educational tool. And that's really the key to games-based learning, using games for play and learning, not trying to design educational games. And that's really what we're about. We're trying to use the games that are out there.
You mentioned that you were using this for summative assessment. Previously, when I've looked at changing summative assessment and bringing technology in, suddenly the shutters go down and say, you can't do that. Was that your experience, or was there a lot of conversation going on within your institution about how this was better? Or
I think it depends on how the project is written. As an academic in my own right, I know about the difficulties of writing curriculum, and when one chooses a very specific learning an assessment method, the student will produce an essay. You're very limited. Then you can't suddenly deviate and do something different there. You have to go through major modifications to your modules and things. However, the group will produce a project which the group will evidence via a portfolio of work, allows you that creative freedom. So writing in through your assessment methodology into your modules the ability to conceptualize and visualize alternative outputs without being so loose that you can't assess them ultimately. It's quite a skill, but it's where the key to the learning lies. That's how you get through the institutional barriers. If you walk in there to your dean and say, we want to deliver this assessment through a game, they're just going to go, nah. Sorry, but no. However, through the works of people like Alex Mosley at Leicester, he has actually got game-based learning embedded right the way through the curriculum, but his methodology is the game-based learning. The assessment vehicle, it may still be quite traditional, but how you get to that ultimate assessment can be done through gameplay. But he's worked really well at that as well.
So you've kindly mentioned Alex there, which leads on quite nicely to these community calls about how you, as a member of ALT, are engaged in the community. And I know Alex is one of the leads on the Games and Learning SIG, which I think you're also a member of.
Yeah, I'm a member of that community. Yeah.
Can you, just for people unfamiliar with that particular ALT SIG, can you just give a quick intro?
GLSIG is games and learning, game-based learning in education, and it's not just digital games, so that's really important to know. We're about playfulness and creativity and exploring the elements of flow. So when people are playing a game, they're in this concept of flow. They're more open to receptive to ideas, more open to suggestions about ways in which they might approach things. They relax because they're playing a game. Whether that's a card game, a board game, an adventure game, as Nicola and Alex are so good at setting up at conferences and things. We've all been running around trying to get our badges and picking up our cards and meeting our pairs of people to solve problems. It's a great tool for getting people to talk to each other, to break those barriers down. So play is a really important process of learning. And at a recent conference, I did mention, I said, to play is the single biggest freedom we have as either a child or as an adult. And very quickly as an adult, with the bearing of responsibility on our shoulders, taking on board mortgages and finances, we stop playing. We lose that carefree element. We sit on a beach, we don't build a sandcastle unless we've got kids with us. Go ahead and build a sandcastle and feel what it's like to pick up the sand and to build something, destroy it, and what does that feel like? Play in your life, because that really keeps you fresh and allows you to take risk and fail. It's really important that through play we can fail, and it's okay. In so much life, there's so much responsibility. Failing to pay your mortgage means your house is repossessed. Failing to get a job means you're on the dole and struggling to survive. Failure is really big in life. But failure in play is okay. And so we learn to accept failure as part of the learning process and experiential learning process.
It's interesting that you bring it up. I was at Online Educator towards the end of last year, and I went to a Lego workshop, and it was quite funny. I didn't really know what to anticipate going in there, but the feeling of I said to the facilitator at the end, I actually felt a bit drunk by the end of it. There was this happiness. We were all chatting to each other. It's interesting for you to hear you highlight that particular aspect of it. You also mentioned Nick Whitten from the GLSIG, who also just happened to be our co-chairs for the ALT annual conference this year. So the call for proposals has just gone out. I don't know if you've had a chance to read it yet, but it's on Connect, Collaborate and Create. And perhaps not surprising, given Alex and Nick have been involved, and perhaps enjoying the delights of EvoBot from last year's conference. I'm just wondering if there was anything that you were thinking of putting in for the conference this year.
Well, I'm very interested in how we can get into that state of flow and people become more receptive when they're playing. So I'm doing a little bit of work with clinical psychology to look at how Minecraft can be used with young people and mental health issues, perhaps bereavement counselling. And so I'm kind of looking at that area. So I'm very interested in how we can use tools like Minecraft to bring people together and collaborate on projects to get them to resolve things that they may not want to talk to people about face to face. So that's one area that is quite interesting. The other area I find interesting is the ability for students to collaborate across large distances and play and build. So I'm looking very much, even just today, I've been working and talking to a University of Southampton about the use of LiDAR data, which is big laser mapping data of the world, 3D maps of the world, and how we might incorporate that to auto-build worlds in future. So I think there are possibilities here about collaboration across networks, and collaborations with individuals as well to kind of break down these boundaries through play.
So we, as I mentioned at the beginning, we can take questions on the Google Plus page and on Twitter, and we've got a question from Ian Wilson. So he's very interested in using Minecraft within learning and teaching. On a practical level, his question is how, in terms of setting up servers and student profiles, how do you achieve that, and also the finance side of things as well?
Hi Ian, by the way, nice to see you. First and foremost, the finances side, we applied for some funding through our local educational trusts to get around about £5,000 for a project called Molecraft initially. What that bought us was it was pump prime funding to pay for 30 Minecraft EDU licenses and pay for a server for 3 years, and that was only about £600. That in total is only £600, not a lot of money to get that. The rest of the money is then used for putting on events and dissemination events and training and workshops for people, and also for the participation events for the people to come and build Molecraft. So it was a small amount of money that created a lot of opportunity, because now the university has those 30 copies of Minecraft. We can now run our own Minecraft training sessions with the current educational model of Minecraft EDU. So it facilitated the learning and use of Minecraft across our curriculum with that small amount of money. In terms of other projects that I'm involved with, I know that through creative storytelling, for example, a colleague of mine who is at Millie Molly Mo, who's a lady called Shelley, she's a creative writer and doing storytelling using Minecraft with schools in the whole region, and her website www.story-craft.com. She got funding from the National Lottery and from the Arts Council for that particular project. So there are external pots of money out there and depending on what you're wanting to do and the angle you're wanting to take, you will find funding for that particular project idea. In terms of our university, they paid for the first 3 months of hosting for us. They invested in us and said, okay, let's see what you can do with this. And so for a very small amount, I mean, what, 30, 40 quid, they paid for 3 months of hosting and said, let's use this to get you started, which was great while we were waiting for our funding to come through. In terms of setting up the student stuff, that was my job. I used the funding to go and do that, and at the schools. So in the case of Molecraft, I run the Molecraft server. I set that up myself, and with the schools and things that we use with that down at the Whole History Centre, again, that's something that we do want to bring your own device kind of arrangements. The students bring their own laptops and things. We plug them into the network, and then they can connect the server, or they can connect from home. Remotely if they want to build that way. I know with the new education model, there's a new version of Minecraft just coming out, Minecraft Education Edition, which Microsoft announced at the BET show 2 weeks ago. It's going to make setup a lot more easily. It will only run on Windows 10 at the moment, as far as we know. However, you don't need special server setups. Any copy of Minecraft Education Edition can become a host and host a world. So you don't need special knowledge. You just literally click a button, start hosting the world, say how many people you want in it, and up to 40 players can play in that world at once. So for schools and colleges, it will be really, really easy way for them to use Minecraft in the classroom.
Have Microsoft announced the pricing on that, on the Education Edition?
The pricing, they've changed their model from a per license per seat model to a per student model, and there's lots of kind of chat about that in the community about how that's going to work, particularly when you take into consideration that Minecraft EDU has been taken up in districts across the US where we're talking thousands of students. So at the moment, the pricing model for Minecraft EDU is you buy a license for 25 copies, you can install it on your 25 machines, and class after class after class can come through and use it. The way it's going to change from the information we have so far is you will log in with your Microsoft Office 365 account to Minecraft EDU, which means you can play at home or at school, but you will pay per student that you want to play. So currently, if you've got 25 licenses but 500 students, you're going to have to change your model to buying 500 licenses for those 500 students, and it's a year-by-year subscription model. Makes sense. It's business sense, and one can see why they've done it, because it doesn't make financial sense to say somebody buy 5 copies of it and get 1,000 students through every year using Minecraft. That doesn't really make much sense financially. We're yet to see whether there'll be alternatives, because the problem with that model, as far as we can see as educators, is I might run a summer school for 3 weeks using Minecraft. Does that mean I have to pay for those licenses for a full year, but I'm only using them for 3 weeks of the year? What happens if I want to run subsequent summer schools? I have to buy licenses for every single student. It's not really kind of quite there yet, I don't think.
Is there a point you can see where you would walk away from Minecraft? I suppose everyone has their price.
Not at all, because Minecraft EDU was developed by Teacher Gaming, and Teacher Gaming have said they're going to release the next version of Minecraft EDU, which has been in beta for quite a long time. So we will upgrade to 1.8 with Minecraft EDU, which brings a whole range of new features to it. At the end of 2016, they will not be selling Minecraft EDU anymore. So get it hot, get it while it's hot, get it while it's there, buy it now. Because you can install it, you can use it, you can even distribute copies of the client to your students to play with. So that's great. Just get it while it's hot now, and it will go on working. If you've got a machine that runs Java, and by golly, there are machines out there that are 10 years old that will still run Java, it will play Minecraft. So we don't foresee Minecraft EDU going out of fashion anytime soon. Likewise with Minecraft, the core platform, I can do everything in Minecraft EDU pretty much that I could do in a vanilla version of Minecraft with servers and plugins. It's a bit more complex, but as a server administrator, I can still do it. So no, I don't see anytime soon me going, Minecraft Education, I'm not going to use that because it's too expensive. I can always do Minecraft with the vanilla version or with Minecraft EDU for many years to come. But I will want to explore Minecraft EDU when we get access to it. I will have a look at the new Education Edition, It's got some great new features in it.
So if people are being enticed to explore Minecraft a bit further, good news, you've still got plenty of time to make your mark and find out what you can do.
And there's plenty of people, educators out there, who are using ordinary Minecraft, just the game, and setting up an educational server and having their students play on that. You can buy 20 copies of Minecraft and put them in your classroom.
Well, that's great. Well, Joel, we are close to time, but before we go, I just wondered, you and your hat are quite a familiar landmark at various events. So I just wondered if there were any events coming up we can expect to see you in your hat if people want to nobble you for a couple more words.
Well, I will be at the Playful Learning Conference in July. I'm on the panel for that, and I will be hopefully going to ALT conference as well. So we'll be down at that one. Those are the ones that are next on the horizon. Failing that, if you're up anywhere in Cumbria and want to pop along to Heron Mill, I run Minecraft clubs up there once a month for anybody who's up in the Cumbrian region. But yeah, the other events, I'm taking a little bit of a back seat at the moment. My newborn baby, who's 3 months old, wants a lot of daddy time at the weekend. So, weekend stuff I'm steering clear of right now.
Well,
I need to remember how to play as well. So
yes, who can blame you?
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Joel. So just to Joel mentioned a couple of things there. So the Playful Learning Conference, I think, is 14th to 15th of July. So that's easily to Google and find out. In terms of ALT events, as we've mentioned, the ALT annual conference, which is in September this year at University of Warwick. The call for proposals is out, so you can start getting your thinking caps on if you want to submit something as part of that. ALT is also helping run OER 16, which is the Open Educational Resources Conference, on the 19th and 20th of April in lovely, glorious Edinburgh, which I can say, living quite close to it. Registration is now open, so if you want to get the early bird, please go and visit the oer16.oerconf.org site. And as Joe mentioned, the GL SIG and other SIGs are available from ALT, and you can easily discover those from the ALT pages and join up if you have something of interest that catches your eye. So once again, Joel, thanks for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at the ALT annual conference this year.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Martin. Thank you.
Right.